Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Today I'm coming to you guys with my November haul and unhaul. Since getting out of book jail, I am trying to keep myself down to 5 books a month, which does not make for very exciting book hauls, I will admit. I still did buy those 5 books this month, and I have a few books that I've decided I'm going to be getting rid of, and I thought I'd share those with you guys too. So basically, I had to take a trip to Portland for work, and while I was there, Read a Book told me to go to Powell's bookstore downtown. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. It is 4 stories high of books. My mind was blown. It was blown. It was amazing. It was blown and it was amazing and it was amazing. So basically, they have every book you could think of, which is fantastic. They have new books and they have used books. So kind of how that works is like, for instance, we'll say Pride and Prejudice. They'll have a bunch of new copies of Pride and Prejudice, and then they'll have like every existing copy of Pride and Prejudice you have ever seen. And that is completely wonderful and amazing because there are certain books in this world that I would like to have multiple copies of. Also, side note, they came out with like a 10th anniversary of Name of the Wind, and I am not buying it in protest until the 3rd book comes out. Sorry to yell, but I mean it. Unless somebody gets it for me for Christmas, then hey, it's all good. Everything's okay. It's all good. So while I was there, I literally picked up probably about 25 books and had to decide, do I want this to be one of my 5? Do I not want this to be one of my 5? I wanted to get a deal, so I wanted to get the used books, but some of the books they only had in new. So I had some decisions to make, but I narrowed it down to 5 books. I think 2 are new and 3 are used. And they also have this amazing graphic novel manga section that I absolutely loved. Most of those were new though, and they were pretty expensive. So I'm just gonna hope that I get them for Christmas because they're cheaper on Amazon. But the bookstore experience was absolutely amazing. They have things like organized by like color code. So I think YA and kids was like rose colored, and I can't remember what the graphic novel section was. Maybe it was like, oh, I think it was brown because it was right by the cafe where we got some nice coffee and things like that. And then they had computers around so you could type things in and say, I want to find this book. And they say, okay, go to the blue section. You're going to go to 132 and it's going to be on your left. And boy, do they know where those books are. It was beautiful and amazing. It was like a library where you can buy things and everybody was friendly. And I kind of wanted to live there, but apparently that's illegal. So moving, oh, I almost knocked over my candle. I'm full of danger whisk. Okay. Don't drop them, Stephanie. Okay, so actually I have 6 books. I forgot about one to haul. This one is The Darkness Mine by Mindy McGinnis. This one was the one that came in my bookish box last month, and it took them a month to get it to me. I am not impressed with them. I used to love my bookish box, and they're kind of going downhill, and I don't know why. So it worries me. I will stick with them for a little longer, but it does worry me. I already talked about this in my unboxing, which I posted a few weeks ago. I'll try and remember to post it down below. I'm not going to go into details, but I got this one. The first one I got at Powell's was Between Shades of Grey by Rita Sepetys. Boy, you really can't see that. Okay, there you go. I loved this book. I read this, I think last year, maybe the beginning of this year. I can't remember now. I loved this book. I'm going to put it down because it's just really white. Basically, it is talking about Jews in Lithuania and what happened to them during World War II, and they were taken away and put in concentration camps in Siberia, which is super duper cold. But it was a really good book. I am a sucker for World War II novels, I will admit that. But I really liked the point of view. It's one I hadn't read before, and it was a story I hadn't heard before. And that's impressive because I read a lot, so I feel like I've heard most of the stories. Yeah. So I loved this book. It was a 5 out of 5. It is one that I've already read. I've actually read it twice. I just wanted to own it. The next book I got was These 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Again, this is one I read, I think in like August or September. I was told about this book from Emma by Drinking by My Shelf. And I loved this book. She mentioned it in like a TBR, and then the end of the month when she read it, she's like, oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't know what to expect. It's supposed to be a book about like this Hollywood blonde bombshell and her 7 husbands. So it kind of goes through why she married each one and why she divorced each one. And that's all she really told me. But she just was like, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. And I was like, I would be interested in that. And again, it's one of those books that's hard to talk about because you don't want to give things away. But it was good. And it's not a book that if I would have heard the details of this and what it was about, I probably wouldn't have read it. Quite honestly, I probably would have been like, eh. But it's not it's really good. So like I said, we're going through her husbands, why she married each one, why she divorced each one, or left them, or whatever happened there. And one of the more interesting parts, that the tabloids are in there too. So they'll have like these tabloid pages where they're like, Evelyn Hugo just got divorced for the 3rd time. This girl just can't seem to stay married. And then you know what's really going on. You know why she actually got divorced or whatever it was. It's really great. It is told in flashback form. So we have our present day form and then all her flashbacks, and they're very clear about what's present and what's flash. And I very much appreciate that. I don't like it when books are foggy on that point. So things happen. She makes decisions, things that I wouldn't decide, things that I wouldn't necessarily agree with some of those decisions. But the point is, she is confident enough to live with the decisions that she has made. And for some reason, like, I'm like, well, you screw up and you live with that, and you're like, well, I screwed up, but I'm going to live with that decision. There's something admirable about that. So again, this is a great book. I don't think I said who it's by. It's by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was a 5-star read for me this year. It was a book that came out of nowhere. I didn't expect to love this. I loved it. You should love it too. And now I own it. Yay! I also got another reread, which is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's so pretty. I realized I don't really have any really pretty copies of Pride and Prejudice. I have a super old copy that I think I got in middle school, and that's the one I like read and spilled orange juice on and things like that like 15 times. And then I have a big book that has all the Jane Austen books in them, and I think I have only read Emma out of that one because it is a huge book, and it's a hardback book, and I am not going to be toting around a 15-pound hardback book. So I wanted a better copy, and I got it, and I love it. Most people know what Pride and Prejudice is about. Basically, we have our main character, who is Lizzie Bennet, and we have her family. She is the second oldest of five daughters, and this is like the early 1800s, and she's like 21, I think, and she's not married, and that's just shocking and terrible and all of that kind of stuff. She's also different than the other girls because she is witty and she is smart and she's funny, and she's not willing to settle. And she's like, if I'm an old maid, I'm an old maid. That's fine with me. So she's interesting. And then comes across her path Fitzwilliam Darcy, who is a man of men, and he is proper and things like that. And he kind of disses her at a party, and somebody's like, you should go dance with that chick, she's hot. And he's like, she's not the hottest one I've seen. And then she overhears him, of course. And then she's like, wow, he's a proud, pompous man, and I'm going to make things difficult if I have to be around him. Fun things ensue. The book is great. It is a classic for a reason. You should read it. Then the next 2 books I got are both by Harry Harrison. It is The Stainless Steel Rat Wants You and The Stainless Steel Rat for President. Now this is in the Stainless Steel Rat series. This is like a sci-fi series from the 70s. My brother-in-law Daniel told me to read these, and I got the first one. I actually got like halfway through it, and then I left it back in my hometown and had to have it mailed back to me. By the time it got to me, I had to give it back to the library, and I just never really went back and finished it. But I need to. So now I own 2 of the books, and actually these are the covers I prefer. I know you're probably like, those look like gross covers from the 70s or whatever. But I like them. I like them because they're hardback, and I like them because they are fun original covers. And the other ones were all mass market paperback, and I really don't like that. Have to buy those if I don't have to buy those. I couldn't tell you a lot more than it's about. Then it's a futuristic book, and they take this guy out of prison who was like this notorious thief, and they were like, if you'll work for the United States government, we will set you free. And he's like, sure. So I have a feeling he is a little shifty, and he kind of calls his own shots, and he does what he wants. And there's a book series of like, I don't know, 7 books or so, and they're all pretty funny. They're probably pretty cheesy because they're from the 70s, but I told him I will read them, and read them I will. So those are the books that I have accumulated in the month of November, and then there are a few that I'm going to be getting rid of. I don't know if I'll have a chance to get to my used bookstore soon. It might just build up a little bit. But the first one is going to be Festival in Death by J.D. Robb. If you watched my haul back at the end of October, I actually got this one in hardback for my library sale for $2, so I'm getting rid of softback because I don't need both. I also am getting rid of Indulgence in Death by J.D. Robb. This copy, I don't know if you can really see it, but the pages are like, it looked like somebody like jammed something against them. They're like roughly and weird, and the cover's pretty torn up on the back as well. So when I found that I could get it for $2, I did, and I don't need 2 copies. Next one I'm getting rid of is Free Fall by Joshua David Bellin. This is one I got in a book box, And I couldn't tell you what it's about because it didn't interest me. And I literally had it sitting out thinking, do I want to read this or not? I want to read this. And you know what? I'm not going to read it. And I don't want to keep books that I'm not going to read when somebody else could be reading them and enjoying them. And it's not my cup of tea. So to the bookstore. And the last one I have is Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. And again, this is the same thing as the last one. I got it in a book box. It didn't interest me. And I kind of feel bad because the cover is beautiful. And all these people are like, oh, it's an owl crate, this and this and this. But it didn't interest me. I'm not going to read books that I'm not interested in when there are all of these books that I am interested in. So I will give it away and let somebody else read it because I'm sure somebody out there will love it. That is all I have for you guys today. A little bit of books I received, a little bit of books I'm giving away. I hope that interested you all. Comment down below with a book that you bought in the month of November and that you are just dying to read. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, so you can always catch me here then. Feel free to like or comment or subscribe or share. I would totally appreciate it. And I love your comments more than anything because if you guys comment, it would just make my little day. Thank you guys for watching and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.